All right, moving on to season 4. I'm going to do 2 episodes here because this is a double episode arc here. So this is the tale of Cutter's Treasure. So the first part, this is Frank and Gary's story, and Frank and Gary have the character Sardo and Dr. Vink in their tales. Like those are their characters. Somebody answered that for me on here. I was like, I bet you this person only talks about Vink, like that's their character, and that was true. Sardo is Gary's character because he works at a magic shop, so he made him up, and Frank's character is Vink. Which we see in the very first episode, the Phantom Cab. That's Frank's first story, and Vink is the main antagonist in it, so that's easy to remember. Now, this is a story about pirates, and it stars Charles S. Dutton, which, Dutton, right? Is that how you say that? I don't know. The thing, I mean, I've seen the dude in so many things, but I think the thing I recognize him the most from is Alien 3. That's probably my most memorable role of his, but he's had tons in addition to this. But when I saw him, I was just like, that's where when I see him, that's where my mind goes almost instantly. So we have the 2 main characters here, which is the 2 brothers. And the one brother is younger than the other one, and of course he just wants to play around, and he hates that his brother is getting into girls. We all have that, where like girls come in and ruin everything, like, and guys come in and ruin everything for girls, or if you're gay or whatever, you know what I mean. Like whoever you're interested in, once you get sexually interested in people and you start pursuing them and showing interest in them, they kind of come in and a lot of the times can break up friendships and push you away. And that's when you start to get your own life and your friends become secondary. So I totally understand that from the brother. He's just like, he wants to play, he wants to have his brother, and he's off with this girl and they're trying to have their first kiss, and the brother turns the sprinkler on him. And of course the brother who's older is like, dude, I'm into this chick, how dare you? And I totally understand his side of things as well. So their parents are going to go on a vacation, and they have a moment where they decide that they're going to lie to the babysitter and pretend that they have like the measles or something, and they're going to scare the babysitter off, so they're not going to have a babysitter. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. They don't kill it. She doesn't die. And so they avert the babysitter. And the brother's like, all right, I want to get this girl over to the house so I can make out with her. And so he tells his brother, like, you need to F off. And the brother's like, all right, well, I'll do that if you pick me up this magic set. So he goes to Sardo's place to pick him up this magic set. And while he's there, he finds this treasure. And Sardo's just like, it's like says, win a prize if you can open it. And the kid, like, Sardo shows him, like, I've tried everything. And so the kid just opens it right up, like easy. It's all, sword in the stone, basically. And he's fated to open the damn thing, and he does. And inside there's a spyglass and a dagger. And the kid's like, I don't want this crap. This is garbage. And there's a key as well. And Sardo's like, no, you got to take it because this guy's offered me $5,000. And until, like, the person's taking the prize, he can't get it to him. I like that Sardo makes a reference to the popularity potion from another episode, the carved stone episode, if I remember correctly. The girl, he offers her that popularity potion, but she gets the carved stone instead, which connects her to that kid's room in the mirror. So I thought that was a nice little callback to a different episode. Which suggests that the Sardo episodes actually are somewhat connected, or just that in alternate realities he's still suggesting the same bullshit to everybody. And then he has the girl over and he goes to kiss her, and the brother breaks it up yet again. I'd be so pissed. This kid's in that awkward stage where he doesn't know how to talk to a chick. Poor kid. And he tells him that he hates him. And the kid then gets, he looks through the spyglass and he sees something in there, which I think is a pretty cool idea. He sees like this, all these locations and possibly like a future setting where he's seeing like himself walking through a graveyard. And then the kid looks down and he sees a skeleton hand. He breaks it up, and then his brother runs up, and of course he doesn't see anything, which is so stupid. I hate that in movies and TV shows and all that. Like, you must be crazy. I don't see nothing. I don't know why that's always annoyed me. But then, the brother then gets abducted by the skeleton, which is actually a really cool scene. This guy rows up on a boat because the brother runs out to find the little brother who's missing, and when he finds him, he's out by the water, and this guy's rowing up all slowly on a boat. He never turns around while he's sitting there, which is kind of eerie. And then the guy just like flips around and he's a skeleton. Like the kid turns him, that's right. He grabs him, he turns him, and he's a skeleton. And then like it's like a reverse Poltergeist scene where that guy's face melts down to like skeleton. This time it like melts upwards into, and like his face reappears. It's a really cool effect. It's just done in reverse from usual, and I loved that. And that's where we see the kid get kidnapped, and then it starts raining and they have to tell the story on a different night. So then we move on to episode 2, which is the final episode of this 2-part tale. And this is where we see that it is Dr. Vink that is offering the money. No surprise there. I was expecting it since Frank was in on the story. And this becomes an ancestry thing where it's been passed down to him, which is to be expected as well. And so he brings the dagger with him, and he points the dagger at him, and the dagger then locks Cutter to a chair. So he doesn't really have to fight him at all, which I think is written that way so that the show doesn't have to have any more violence in it, because I'm sure they're already pushing the limits of what they can do for a Y7 show. But it locks him in the chair, and Cutter's like, do it, do it, do it. And his ancestor keeps telling him, like, what he wants is not what he desires or whatever. Something like that, some little riddle, basically. And so the kid decides, like, he realizes in the moment, like, he could go stab him. And Vink's telling him, like, no, you should go stab him. This is your destiny. This is what you need to do. And he's like, no, he's luring me to do this. Like, he's trapped here in this hell, and I'm the only one that can release him from this. Like, this treasure means nothing to him now. Like, he's guarded it for hundreds of years, and now he realizes that, like, this is all meaningless to him. He's stuck in hell. He needs to be released. This is the dagger that can do it. And he decides to not release him. Like, he's like, no, you tortured my ancestors. You killed tons of people. You deserve to be in hell, basically. And doesn't stab him, and the place then starts crumbling down around him, and I guess Cutter is locked down there for eternity, which is really messed up. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get it. I definitely understand that people deserve punishments in certain cases, and it's cathartic and everything for people, but I think there's a limit to punishment. Like, hundreds of years being locked in a cage, like, by yourself and not being able to do anything and whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, it was time to let the guy pass on. Like, what if other people come down there and they're haunted by this? They're like, eventually they're going to want to dig that up because they heard the tale of this and that, and you're letting other people be susceptible to Cutter and all that. But at the same time, it's like, you gotta find some forgiveness at some point. Hundreds of years of hell. Like, I don't know. Like, it's time to set the dude free. I don't know what that would entail, though. Maybe setting him free would then release his spirit so he could go wreak havoc on the world. I doubt that. I think it would just be a passing on, but am I going to chance that by stabbing him? Probably. Like, this is just too much at this point. Like, let the guy go. Be done with it. This was your destiny. Like, why set all this up? Like, why have your ancestor do all of this and then give you that hint of, like, oh, what he wants is not what he desires. And it's like, well, then why did you put this, like, charm on this chest for me to get this, then to come down here and then lock him into a place where he already is for eternity? And if I wouldn't have come here, he would have been here anyways, because I'm the only one he can affect. So there's definitely some inaccuracies in the logic here, but they are written by, like, 14-year-old kids trying to scare their friends at a campfire. I just sit here and I'm like, And then we have Vink and Sardo sharing a screen together, man. Never since Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in the coffee shop in Heat have I seen a scene so iconic with two such incredible characters. Actually, this is before Heat. So man, no, maybe not. This is around the same time. Okay, obviously I'm kidding. This is nowhere near that awesome. But as a kid, this was a pretty damn cool scene to see Sardo and Vink in the same scene together, like, and they're like interacting and talking and on the, sharing the screen. That was pretty damn cool. It's still cool to see here because there's such, iconic figures of that show. So, anyways, all right. Those are the only 2 episodes I got to watch with my kids this week. So, until next week, adios.